Alec, what's going on?
Hey, I just got back from Maine vacation.
Your
Yeah,
your main vacation, then
my
you'll do
main
your
vacation.
supplemental vacation later.
Yeah, vacation on Maine.
Oh,
Uh Whatever the
stupid.
fuck that means. Um
You're horny on vacation?
demonetized
Okay.
already. I already used the F word.
What? We never used that word. What
What?
the
No, that's what the
dude?
fornication? What is going on?
Um,
What is happening? So
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, big thing. So this happened while I was on vacation, but I had the luxury of being able to watch it more than once, twice actually,
Yeah.
um, and
Wow.
it was pretty great. I was not very keen on everybody spoiling the fact that the biggest reveal, my favorite reveal of the thing, was basically spoiled for me by everybody before I had a chance to even watch it, which I was a little
Final
pissed off
Fantasy?
about. Yes, but
Yeah, I didn't get
uh,
to watch it live, so I watched it
yeah,
after the title was like PlayStation 5 showcase, including Final Fantasy 16,
yeah.
Spider-Man, God of War, etc.
Yeah. I think God of War was kind of spoiled for me too, but I didn't know what was shown, and basically
Yeah, we
nothing was
got
shown. It
so
was a
much
logo.
from it.
It was a logo. So
Winter is coming.
yeah, no, Ragnarok is coming.
Yeah,
This isn't Game
it
of
is definitely
Thrones. This
Game of
is
Thrones, a timely Game of Thrones reference.
yeah, no,
So PlayStation 5 showcase. It was like a 45-minute presentation.
yeah. It was much better than any of the Xbox ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. I
it's
mean,
pretty good. It's pretty good.
it to the point of it's actually tempting me. I don't think I will, but it is tempting me to potentially try to see if I could pick one up.
Like
But
I'll say it won't. It hasn't really. I feel like it as a direct style presentation, or like showcase. It's
mhm.
pretty. It's good. Like there's good stuff there. But
Yeah,
for like next gen thing, it's not like
it's it's
whoa.
it's not as snappy as Nintendo's tend to be. And Nintendo actually had one the day after that I also watched.
But I'm just saying
Um,
this is like the next generation is what we're witnessing here, and it just felt like another presentation of games, not like oh we're taking a huge leap here into PlayStation 5.
See, here's the thing. The lighting and the graphical fidelity of real time stuff was like it looked great. I mean, it looks basically as good as every CG cutscene you would see on PS4, which is already looks spectacular. So yeah, it's not like a huge leap in terms of graphical quality, even between like PS3 and PS4. Um, but I think that the stability and overall quality of graphical fidelity during gameplay is kind of the big selling point. And based on what they've shown, I mean, it seems to hold up. You know, they showed off some pretty dope gameplay of the Spider-Man Miles Morales
Mm-hmm.
game, and that looks really good, really fun. It's pretty seamless between gameplay and cutscene. I mean, the other Spider-Man game looked great too. I'd say it was mostly seamless. I feel like there were thinking back. I feel like there were some times where it would fade out and then fade back into when it was pre-rendered.
Mm-hmm.
Pre-rendered. It was like it wasn't really quite pre-rendered because it was still using in-engine stuff, but you could tell that there was it was a little nicer.
It just feels like
But
we've gotten to a point technology wise where it's like you can only go push it so far. So it's like
yeah, again, I think
previous generations you can clearly tell the difference between each one, and this one it's
yeah.
like I could see this being on PS4 and I wouldn't really know the difference.
See, I don't know. They didn't really show it during the showcase, but Ratchet and Clank looks like phenomenal.
I didn't
Ratchet
even
and
know
Clank
Ratchet and
looks.
Clank was a thing.
You didn't. We've talked. Didn't we talk about the other PlayStation conference? I feel like we
No,
no, of course we didn't.
I didn't
We
watch
weren't
that
we weren't
one.
recording that. You didn't watch that one? Okay, Ratchet and Clank looks amazing. That looks like next gen to me. The lighting and the seamlessness of that game is just beyond anything. It looked amazing. Um, but that wasn't shown during this. So it's kind of funny though because they're still not necessarily releasing telling they have a launch date for the PlayStation 5, but some of the games are still kind of up in the air as to when they're coming out exactly. Um,
Yeah.
so
So do we want to go through it as it went?
sure.
So we started with Final Fantasy 16. That was the first thing.
It's pretty big deal. It looks like Final Fantasy meets The Witcher meets like Game of Thronesy kind of. It's very like it's going back to a medieval roots. I think I was reading that the game is being led by some of the lead people on Final Fantasy 14, as well as
Hmm.
so I think mainly 14 and 15 people, which is that's kind of huge, because like 14 has a lot of is a very medieval style kind of Final Fantasy game. Obviously, it's an MMO, but based on everything that I've heard about 14 since they relaunched it, the game is phenomenal and has probably the greatest story ever told in an MMO. So that's high praise. I guess it's not really necessarily a high bar to set, when your greatest contenders are like the Old Republic and World of Warcraft,
Mm-hmm.
and Blizzard has a lot of problems when it comes to telling cohesive stories. Um, so yeah, the more I've watched the trailer, because I've seen it a few times, the more excited I am for the prospects of what the game is gonna hold. It definitely is very action focused, so it's hard to say if there's even going to be necessarily party members. Like it's interesting. You see in the trailer them playing as different characters, but it's not necessarily like it's not a traditional like party setup. It looks very kind of action heavy, so it's difficult to say how that's going to play out exactly. But in terms of setting and tone, it looks just great. It looks just great, and I'm very very excited for
Mm-hmm.
it, as a big Final Fantasy fan. So
Yeah, I'm not a very experienced Final Fantasy fan, but from what I saw, like if I didn't know Final Fantasy was being announced, I probably wouldn't have even guessed that's what it was.
yeah,
Like just from looking at it at first, doesn't seem like immediately Final Fantasy.
until you see chocobos, I'm talking about crystals, and then you see Shiva fighting someone, I don't know necessarily whose name I can't remember, whatever. But then you
Mm-hmm.
had Ifrit versus Phoenix, which is kind of like interesting. So like two fire things seem to be at odds or at war of some sort. Yeah, it looks very exciting. It looks dark.
And they didn't give a date on it at all, right?
No, no date. It's probably my guess. Probably 2022. Be my guess. Um,
Gross.
yeah, I mean, but they wanted to excite, get people excited. The interesting thing, they have two different teams working on big games at Square now, though, because you've got Final Fantasy Remake, Final Fantasy VII Remake development still going on. So it makes sense that they would then also be trying to. There's another creative division
Yeah.
that's working on development of 16. So I don't know. It'll be it's exciting. It's a very exciting time to be a Final Fantasy fan, and got a lot to look forward to. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So then they had Miles Morales, which is coming this year, holiday 2020,
Yep.
and that looks great.
Yeah.
I still haven't played the first one though.
Better get on that.
I realize
Better get.
I keep realizing this, but I realize this after watching this as well that how I'm not a good gamer anymore. Where it's like we're going into a new generation. I feel like I've barely experienced anything from this PS4 era yet, and I'm like,
Putting all that time into Smash Brothers.
there's so much that I've missed out on.
There's a
I'm
lot of
like,
great games that came out. Yeah.
I'm not ready to just go on to the new wave now. I'm like, come on, I have all these PS4 games I need to play still.
Mm.
But it looks great. I just won't play it for years until
Yeah.
I get to play the first one. Then they had Hogwarts Legacy
That
out of
looked
nowhere.
pretty awesome. Well, here's the thing. This has been known for a long time.
Okay, well,
Uh,
out
this
of
game,
nowhere
this
to
game's
me.
okay.
I've
So
never heard anyone talk about it before.
really okay. I'm actually surprised I didn't mention it to you before, but yeah, this game has been known about for like a couple of years now. But just has nothing's really been shown about it. They've been kind of waiting, I think, waiting for the right time to sort of show it off. Apparently, this says having very little input from J.K. Rowling It's funny because the development studio made a point of saying that due to Rowling's recent
Yeah.
controversies. But it's exciting because this is a period in like that world, the Harry Potter world, that like not a lot is really known about necessarily, or she hasn't done like a lot of writing or backstories of stuff of the period kind of right before sort of the Fantastic Beasts era. So this is supposed to be taking place in the late 19th century, um, and so it's going to be about, I don't really know
Who
exactly.
knows?
Yeah, it seemed to be like they seem to be kind of making it like a choose your own sort of thing. Like, who are you going to be? Are you going to be like
Yeah.
good? Will you like, what's your legacy going to be on Hogwarts? So I don't know if it's going to be like an adaptive choice sort of style game, if they're going to make it kind of like an older Infamous style, or like a more like
For
with like a
some,
morality, or like
yeah,
it's
for
hard to
some
say
reason I
exactly.
got like just from presentation I got Fable vibes from it. Like,
Yeah, there was some Fable vibes there too. I'm not a huge Fable fan, but obviously I recognize that it's a fairly popular franchise.
mhm.
Um,
So I'm definitely intrigued for sure.
it's I wouldn't say it's like the most popular. It's definitely not like hugely popular, but it has its niche, that's for sure. But
Like,
yeah,
because there's still, I mean, there's not much there. It's like you have no idea. It could be horrible, honestly. Like from what they showed, you don't get a sense
yeah.
of what it's gonna be like. But like,
They seem to have been taking their time with it though. That's kind of what's giving me a little bit more hope, because there've been the Harry Potter games that came out while the movies were coming out were all kind of terrible. I shouldn't say that. They were not all they're
mhm.
terrible. The later ones were all pretty terrible. The last two, the friggin'
Deathly Hallows.
yeah, the Deathly Hallows Part One and Two were basically like third person shooters.
I don't even know that there were games for those ones.
Yeah, that well exactly. They were
Hmm.
bad. They were like really really bad. Half-Blood Prince, I've never gotten a chance to play it. Order of the Phoenix was pretty good. Goblet of Fire was pretty bad. And the earlier games are all kind of like adventure style games, so they were kind of those are all pretty good, all pretty fun. Um, but
I'm interested. When does it? It comes out 2021. Okay.
yeah, so it's out next year. I'm definitely excited for it. I think it looks good. It's promising. I will say, like you said, it could still be pretty terrible, but I think it looks pretty promising. So I'm
Yeah, there's
definitely,
potential there for sure.
yeah, gonna keep my eyes on that one. Despite the fact that I'm probably still not gonna get a console at launch, but we'll get into that
Yeah. Do you
later.
think this will be? Did they say like if Hogwarts Legacy will be just a PS5 thing or a
I
new?
don't remember. I don't remember. I don't think so. I think that one's. I don't think that one's exclusive. I don't think that one's exclusive. I think that one's on. Going to be on the Series X as well.
But like, will any of this stuff be on PS4, that kind of thing too? Or am I gonna have to switch over to
Oh,
play this?
okay. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really know.
Because I was thinking, oh, that would be kind of cool if we found out the date for it. We could have like we could do a Harry Potter series, and then maybe end off with that or something. Would be cool.
Yeah,
But
but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
all right, that's fine.
But I don't know. It's
Then I'll
hard.
never play you. Hogwarts Legacy. That's what you get.
Never play it. I'll
All
never
right.
play it now.
Then we had Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which is coming holiday 2020. Which
This is going to be on the previous
I'm
consoles.
sure, yeah, Call of Duty will never not
Well,
double dip.
it's I mean, you can be sure because they literally said
Alpha.
like, yeah, you can play the alpha now on PS4 basically. Like, so,
And
yeah.
I really like Call of Duty. I haven't played a lot of the most recent ones, but I have them all. It's like
So,
Harvest Moon where I just have them all.
so they are going to have zombies again in this, and I'm going to have to talk to my buddy Josh about the zombies mode,
Hmm.
because so me and him used to play in college. We made our way through all the zombies maps in Black Ops 1, which that was like developing the story of like Black Ops Zombies has its own like lore and story that's absolutely ridiculous.
Hmm.
And we played through a lot of Black Ops 2s, and then I graduated, so I didn't have any. So we didn't get through like Black Ops 3,
Black Ops 3 is wild. Like,
the
it
zombies
does
in that
wild
one.
stuff in there.
So yeah, I don't really know how that sort of handled all that crap.
But there's like,
or like what they did after that, because I think one of the Infinity Ward games had a zombies mode too, but like it had nothing to do with Black Ops Zombies.
hmm,
So it was like, what? Why did they do that? Like, what's the point of doing that? That's very confusing.
I don't know, because like I can't
um,
really get excited for a Call of Duty game because I have all the newer ones that I still have to play.
yeah.
So
The only one I picked up was World War II. Oh, zombies mode. There was a zombies mode in that one, and it was David Tennant was like the narrator of it, and I was like, that's kind of hilarious. So I was like, um, Doctor Who's gonna be in my zombies game. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looks fine. It seems to be taking the continuity. Like I couldn't tell was if it was continuing the continuity of the of Black Ops 1, I think, and ignoring 2 and 3.
and four, there's a fourth one in there too.
There was a fourth one.
Yeah,
Was that one like multiplayer only though? There was no campaign with that one or
I
something.
don't know.
I
I
think that
didn't
one
know
had
that.
no. I think that one had like no campaign or something.
Is that true? I mean, I'd only
Yeah.
heard that for Modern Warfare 2 Remastered that there was campaign only. But
Okay. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there was no campaign with Black Ops 4, if memory serves.
huh.
It was, yeah. That was like sort of a weird, contentious sort
Well,
of
that's
thing
one
with
of the
that
ones
one.
I still haven't played.
Yeah.
So one day I just want to go through all of them because I went and bought like literally every Call of Duty on the on home consoles.
I'd like to play Battlefield 1 because I like the setting. I think that's cool.
Battlefield 1, huh?
Anyway, what's
So
next?
next we got Resident Evil 8. Then they thought they were real cute with this one where they had it said village and then the
Oh, yeah,
letters
that's right. So
formed.
you didn't see the other one either. So you hadn't seen the previous one that where they revealed that the Resident Evil Village is a thing. Resident Evil
No.
8 Village. Yeah. So yeah, it was very obvious with this one what it was because they'd shown this trailer felt like part 2 of the same trailer that they showed at the earlier one.
Okay.
I will say the frame rate looked better in this one
Hmm.
because the frame rate in the first trailer was pretty bad. Like it was like, wow, this game is definitely in the early stages. I mean, it still looked pretty rough around the edges, but I don't really know what to say about this. I still haven't played Resident Evil 7.
I still haven't played Resident Evil.
Yeah, you haven't played any of them, so this like they're from what I understand the most part Resident Evil 7 didn't have much to do with the continuity until like towards the end of the game where you sort of like saw all the connected it's sort of like all connected to like the other games. And this one's almost seems like it's sort of doing the same thing where it's going to interplay a little bit more because Chris Redfield seems more intricately involved with the plot. But despite the fact that he shows up at the beginning of the trailer, that he doesn't show up again.
Hmm.
He's like, "What are you doing, Chris?" And then he like gets knocked out by Chris, and then it's like a weird sequence of something,
Yeah.
or like his wife telling him stuff. But I think his wife's dead, so maybe it's like a Dead Space thing where like I don't know.
I
It
don't
was
know.
weird, but
Something with a village though, that's for
yeah,
sure.
which is cool. Go back to a
That's
village.
fine.
That's
It's
fun. Yeah,
2021.
yeah,
So then we had Deathloop. You know,
yeah.
this,
What do you think
this
about this game?
I don't. I mean, it didn't do anything for me, honestly. It was like it was like flashy presentation, and it really was such a long process to get through this loop.
Yeah. So
Through this
this
loop.
is a very similar trailer to the one that was shown before.
Hmm.
This one was a little bit more like, hey, look at the different things you can do to affect the world, rather than necessarily just explaining the premise.
It doesn't seem like
But
a game I would play, but
I think this is a game that I would like. I like stylish kind of action games like this. I think that because Arcane is behind Dishonored, which is a game series that I have not really played very much of. But I've been told by basically everybody you would love this game. So it's I mean I own the first one on the 360
and
actually. I think.
you bought me the first one.
Did I?
Yeah,
Oh,
for the
okay.
Secret Santa,
Oh, fun.
and I still haven't played it.
Yeah. Maybe we gotta
That'll
fix
be
that
our
at some point.
review. That'll be a review coming up soon, and then
Dishonored.
we're gonna go through all the Resident Evils.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's gonna be
I've actually
huge.
never played 2 or 3 the original versions,
Yeah.
so I can play 2 and 3 the remake versions instead.
So
Much to
Deathloop, you're into Deathloop.
I'm into it. I don't think this is going to be like a day. Like, it's definitely not like huge day one for
Like,
me, but I've definitely been interested in this game ever since it was first announced. I really think the premise is cool. I like the idea. The humor is kind of quirky and fun and goofy off the wall.
mm-hmm.
It feels like a 70s pulp film, basically, that they made into a game. And I kind of, that's fun. I think that it just has a fun feeling to it. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, I'll keep my eye. Again, this is another one of those. It could be really good. It could be kind of terrible. I think the pedigree behind it is leaning towards it's going to be pretty good. So I
All right, and in these next ones, I'm just gonna name. I'm gonna rattle off some names for you, and tell me if
mhm.
any of these pique your interest. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Oddworld, Soulstorm, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Demon Souls, and Fortnite.
Demon Souls, abso-freaking-lutely.
So what
Um,
is it exactly? I don't even know. Like,
Demon
is it the
Souls?
same game?
It's a remake. Yeah, it's a remake of the PlayStation 3 game, and it's just disgusting how much better it looks.
Disgusting.
Um, oh, it's yeah, it's just like that's what I said. Yeah, that's what, when I was watching this trailer, I was like, this is just disgusting how much better this game looks than the PS3 version.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not one thing I'm not really keen on is the "You Died" font. I hope that's something that they maybe change because I did not really like that. But everything else in this game looks absolutely amazing and incredible. I loved how they showed all the different bits and pieces of different areas of the world that I was familiar with having played Demon Souls. I've never beaten Demon Souls. It's very hard, as any Souls game would be. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what other stuff they're going to be doing, like in terms of like if they like what they rebalanced, like what they changed, besides the graphics, or if they kept it basically the same and just sort of spruce it up. I don't really know. But it's exciting for sure. Demon Souls is definitely it's one of those games that like it feels a lot more niche than even the other Souls games. So just because it was console exclusive for so long. So now it's coming to PlayStation 5, and I don't know. It's exciting. It's definitely a game that I would want to pick up for it should I get one when I get one. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all games. These are just all games that I need to play.
yeah. What was the other ones you mentioned? There's another one you mentioned in there that I was like, yeah, that game looks
Five
cool.
Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
No, that was like why?
I was
I
like,
was
I
I
was
was
like,
like,
what
does it
is
hasn't
this? And then I saw the freaking Freddy Fazbear there. Oh, okay.
so is it going to be like a first person
I
game
don't
or
know.
something, or is it just going to be another
It looks very different,
FNAF
like
game?
presentation.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I remembered hearing something that like because with Sister Location they were already trying to do something a little bit different.
Hmm. Yeah, it seems first person.
Yeah, it's
Might
almost
be.
like they're trying to make it like a first person sort of game where it's like that could be more interesting than just your
Hmm.
tower defense style game, which basically every other FNAF game is. So, um,
But that was the whole charm of it. Are we going too far? Are we too far
are we
gone
are
now?
we are we too far? Are we going too far? I mean, I don't know if it's a Sony exclusive and they're like shelling out money for it. I can understand why you would do that.
Yeah. Oddworld, Soulstorm.
Oh yeah, Oddworld was the other one.
I just don't have much interest in that in
It's
general.
just
But
yeah, I don't know. It's this that's more like a game series that I'm like that seems like it would be fun, but I have like almost no interest in actually playing it. So it's a game
that
that I can
can
kind of
just
appreciate.
exist over there.
Yeah, it's just a game that I can kind of appreciate, but like not really having too much interest in.
Hmm. It's like the
But I mean,
presentation is fun and wacky, but then the gameplay
yeah,
itself, I'm like, I
it's
don't.
Lemmings.
Yeah,
It's basically just Lemmings.
it doesn't do
So
anything for me.
yeah, I felt like weren't there like different styles of Oddworld games? There was like Stranger's Wrath and Abe's Odyssey. I don't know if they were all Lemming style. I felt like one of them was like weirdly like a first person shooter or something. Maybe Stranger's Wrath was that.
Hmm.
But
Maybe.
yeah,
So after that, they mentioned there's a PlayStation Plus collection, which has like
this is pretty cool.
a
Uh,
bunch of different ones from PS4.
yeah. So basically, if at launch, should you be a PlayStation Plus member, um, you have access to like select titles, like some of the like groundbreaking landmark titles for the PlayStation 4, that you can just download and start playing when you get your PlayStation 5. Titles like The Last Guardian, Monster Hunter World, Persona 5, Uncharted 4, God of War, The Last of Us remastered, not part two. um, I don't. There was. I mean, There's lots, and they're
Mhm.
all pretty. They all look pretty great. They're all games. A lot of them are games I've played. Persona 5, obviously. Um, but I think it's an exciting kind of like, hey, I can play this game again, or it's like if it's a game that maybe you missed out on the PS4, then it's like, well, you have it just downloaded available to you to download on the system. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So after this was the big thing, which is the price point. So we have $4.99 for the PlayStation 5, $3.99 for the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition.
Yep.
So how do you feel? Is that a good price point to
That's.
you?
I think that's a really good price point. There's no drastic difference between the models, other than one is a digital only console. From what I understand, they're basically the same console.
Yeah, they just took
Um,
out the drive.
yeah, which is very different from Xbox's model, where it's like you're actually getting slightly different hardware that performs. It's still supposed to perform like as good, but you get a little less fidelity, a little less horsepower
Hmm.
on the lower end console. So there's actually a rumor going around that Microsoft actually has a third version that's kind of going to be like a disc version the the Xbox Series S, from what I've heard. So it's still going to be like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Uh,
I don't get it.
so we never talked. We never got to talk about the PlayStation 5 in any capacity. What do you think
Yeah,
of
we haven't
the?
really.
What do you think of the look, the white and black?
So it's funny because my dad was watched it with me, and at one point, because I just had it on the TV, and so he kind of like was looking at the console. He's like, "Boy, that sure looks like it's going to collect dust pretty
Mm.
easily." Like, there's just so many like cracks and crevices in the
Yeah.
design of the console itself. Like more so than pretty much. I'm looking over at like some of the other consoles I have here, more than most other consoles that I've seen. I really don't care for the design at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
I like that it's sort of as subtly a 5. I think that's kind of neat. Roman numeral V.
Oh, is that what they're
That's
going for?
that's what I'm getting out of it.
Oh,
But I kind of just don't like. I think it's kind of ugly. Yeah, I don't. It's very reminiscent to me of the PlayStation 3 Fat, where it's just like I just don't like the look of that
Seems
thing.
like they're going for like super futuristic style, right? Like this
Yeah,
is kind of the white and black is really like what people
it's
envision the future to look like, kind of
it,
thing.
it's very striking to have a white console for Sony's launch. Sony's always had like black or gray consoles.
Yeah, at least like this is
So
different. Every other one has been just like subtle changes. I mean, the
yeah,
controller looks distinctly different at
yeah, the
least.
control is very different too. Yeah.
And they had a little headset. They had a bunch of different things with it.
So Sony's really pushing other peripherals, like 3D audio is going to be the really huge thing. Where
Hmm.
those headphones are going to be very expensive,
Oh
based on
yeah.
what they've talked about. Yes. Um, so like they've really kind of been pushing other stuff with that. So I guess spec wise, it's not quite as powerful as the Xbox One X. I mean, by One X, I mean Series X. Why do you have to name your console so stupid,
I was just taking it.
Microsoft?
I was fine with it. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
the Xbox One X, the new
No, no, the
console.
Series X. Yeah, no, I have a One X sitting right over there. I hate it. I hate it. It's like Kingdom Hearts. Like, come on,
See,
just
Sony keeps it simple. It's
yeah.
PlayStation 5.
It's very
Not
easy.
to be confused with PlayStation 4.
Yeah, or 3.
Yeah. It's a clear progression here. Now we
Yes.
got Xbox is going all over the place. Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox One Series X.
No, it's just Xbox Series X, as well as Xbox Series S, as well as possibly a third thing that we don't know about.
I don't know
Um,
what the order is. I don't know what's chronological anymore, you know? People looking back, the historians are going to be confused. Xbox One. That's the first one, right?
yeah.
Hmm. So after they did the price, they said the date, November 12th,
Mm-hmm.
for most of the important countries. Everywhere else is November 19th.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was like everywhere else is then. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
then
basically all their huge marketing pushes. So UK, so it's gonna be like US,
US,
UK, UK,
Mexico, Australia, New Zealand,
yeah,
Japan.
Japan, and it's like the rest of the world will get it eventually.
They literally said they said November 19th, rest of the world. So and then that's when they threw in the little Ragnarok is coming teaser at the end, 2021. I still haven't played God of War, so this is great stuff for me. So if you, in case you didn't notice, I don't have a reason to buy the PlayStation 5 because it's as if I barely own a PlayStation 4. So how about you?
Problem.
Are you gonna get the PlayStation 5 on November
I
12th?
I doubt it. I'm like you. I mean, like I've definitely been playing my PlayStation 4 more than like other consoles. Like maybe not necessarily more than other consoles, but I've been playing a lot. Um, but there's still so many games I own on that console that I just haven't played yet.
Yeah,
So
and for me, it's all these games like
yeah,
the predecessors to each of them.
Spider-Man, God of War. Yeah, you didn't even know there was a new Ratchet and Clank game coming out for
Yeah,
it.
I barely know anything about Final
Um,
Fantasy 15, let alone 16.
yeah,
So it's take it easy, all right.
yeah, yeah.
It was a good showcase, but for me,
Yeah.
it's not like, ooh, I need to get this new console. Mind
It,
blowing.
it was a good showcase. They showed a lot of good games. I thought it was a little weird how it was like it felt like some of the trailers are almost like this is just a part two for what you showed before. Like it was very kind of weird to me. That part of it.
I can't relate because I didn't see the part
Um,
one.
but all that said, it still looks good. I'm still looking forward to picking it up at some point. I'm not. I'm still not really convinced at launch. Just because I think the games that'll be out at launch or around launch look fun, but I don't. None of them are like that killer. Like, yes, I need to get this game now.
Mm-hmm.
But Final Fantasy 16 is going to be a PS5 exclusive at least for a year. They were okay. So this is a really weird thing with Final Fantasy 16. They said at the beginning that it was being shown on a PC emulating what it's going to look like on the PS5.
Yeah.
I think even at the end of the trailer, it said something coming to PC and PS5. They
Yeah.
have since said that it's not coming to PC.
What do you mean?
Yeah,
since
they've since
showcase?
edited the trail. Yeah, the trailer that's out on Square Enix's website no longer mentions the PC,
Okay.
and they've said that it's only going to be coming to the PlayStation 5.
Oh.
There's no mention of the PC.
Okay.
So people are thinking it's probably going to be another like timed exclusive, kind of like how Final Fantasy VII Remake is a year timed exclusive to the PlayStation 4 or to Sony. So because that for sure is going to be come out on the PC, and for sure that's going to come out. Well, maybe not for sure on the Xbox, but it's definitely going to come out on the PC.
That's what I'm saying. Like at least Xbox, when they had their timed exclusives, they said they were timed.
Yeah.
So maybe if they didn't say it, then it's just a PC thing. So Alec, if you were to recommend a video for our viewers to watch after watching this one, which one would you recommend they go watch?
You should go watch Relive the Past, relive our excitement for the E3 2019 Square Enix briefing review, because that was very exciting.
Exists.
Yeah, back when E3 existed, back when Avengers looked like a little joyous dream. I haven't played Avengers yet.
I haven't.
I know the campaign is supposed to be really good, but boy, I've seen some of the jank screenshots of the Avengers Initiative mode, and that game probably shouldn't have come out. Is very very jank looking, but that's probably part of the charm, right?
Yeah.
Online multiplayer games.
I wish we had gotten some E3 at least, like just make your little showcases and just say it's E3 kind of thing.
See, I feel like this would have been at E3 this year. Like a lot of this stuff,
Like
even that Final Fantasy 16 announcement, I feel like probably would have been at E3 this year.
Yeah, and then like Nintendo had their Direct, Xbox had their showcase. So I mean, they basically did it, but
yeah, Nintendo. Well, they've all been chopped up throughout the summer, basically. Nintendo's chopped up all their presentations throughout the whole summer, It's just been a complete mess.
Yeah.
Really,
But
really.
I've kind of been liking it because Nintendo's just been dropping these announcements just out of nowhere.
it is, but the problem is that because of how starved publications are for news, every single week is a rumor of like, and like we knew about the Mario 3D collection like months in advance, and people are just like, when are they going to announce it? They'll announce it this week, and they didn't announce it this week. Well, they're going to announce it this week. Rumors they're going to be direct, and they'll announce it this week, and then that didn't happen. That didn't happen for so long, and then finally, it happened. The one thing Nintendo was able to keep under wraps was the video we talked about before, the Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah, that was out of nowhere.
Yeah, but
and I mean,
my only problem, I kind of am with you. I kind of like the sort of like, oh, this is kind of neat to get this like announcement, and it's only like a month or two away. The only problem with is that like a lot of people have to budget their money like a lot more sparingly than. I mean, even me, like with the price point, waiting for the price point for the PlayStation 5, and it's like, well, I'm probably just not going to get one now because it's like I haven't really planned out any budgeting for it, and it's like it's coming out in 2 months. Now I know what its prices are, but it's like it's almost like getting built up for so long kind of almost deflates it in the end. Like at least at E3, or something that's around E3, because Sony wouldn't have been at E3 anyways. At least you kind of know like what to expect. Like, yeah, they're going to announce this, and we'll get a price point, and we'll have this stuff, and so you can kind of get yourself psyched up for it in that case. But like they've been playing cat and mouse with this whole pricing thing for basically since June, and it's been very frustrating.
So. But I guess it's like with E3, they laid their hand out right there on the table, and here it's like we don't know what they have, what Nintendo's holding on to there. Like they can just whip out stuff willy nilly.
Yeah.
So it's a little exciting. But all right. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Subscribe to Tarqaron. Hit the notification bell.
Yeah, hit the bell.
Subscribe to our podcast feed on all podcast platforms. Follow us on Twitter at Tarqaron TWO.